and welcome. I hope I'm on. I think I'm on screen. I'm not sure. It looks a bit strange to me, actually. That's better, maybe. I think that's better, is it? Is that better, folks? Okay. Who's in the room? Michael Wells, nice to see you. Westover 1314, Christopher Stridd, and Brian Payton, and Ewan Eggerstrom. How you doing? And Mitch Cameron and Sherry. Good to see you all. I'm casually dressed, well, sort of today because we're doing a lot of work. And tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we have a load of stuff arriving that we've all got to handball out the truck because this haulage company doesn't have a tailgate or a footlift. So we're having to handball all lot out. So I've had to pull in some favours, families and friends, and get some men down here to lift it all off. But there we are. We shall see. Okay. We'll see how we go on. Right, I think everyone's working. It was glitching out, man, earlier on there. I don't know. I wonder if I see E1 in there if he's available to do it. Could you stick a thing in for the flag fund? Because we really need to get these boys sorted. And we might need a cherry picker. I know one of these things you drive and the scissor thing goes away up so you can put the flags on the poles. We might need one of them. And that's £300, which is about $500. We maybe need to hire one of them for the boys. But well worth it. Ooh, it'll be great. I might even go over. Anyway, let's have a word of scripture. We're on Psalm 133. Psalm 133. Hear ye the Lord. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down the beard, even Aaron's beard, and it went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For the Lord commandeth the blessing, even life forevermore. Amen. And we know the Lord will add his blessing to this, the public reading of his inspired, infallible, and inerrant word. And the people of God said, Amen, and amen indeed. Wonderful that, isn't it? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And that's what it's all about. People shouting ball about unity. Unity is a good thing, providing it's in a narrow context. Christians can be unified, but people saying the right wing should be unified. Unified with what? Neo-Nazis, pagans, godless heathens? No, thank you. No, thank you. Not for me. Yes, reclaim the streets, folks. Let's get it done. Yes, it's going to be excellent. There's a few things to show you anyway. We're mucking about. Now, my original design was a plain cross, okay? It was a plain cross. I should have got the plain cross here. By the way, touching, because remember I broke it the last time. And I put a plain cross up on our X account and said, what do you think of this? And some guy, don't know who he is, no one who remembers that, he just come back and went, no, this is better. And he made just a plain gold cross into this Celtic version. This is for the window at the top of the stairs. So years ago, when you walked in the front door of the Priory House, you looked up the stairs and there was a window with red border and blue corners with a kind of star design. That was the original window from the 1860s. So I really wanted to replace that, but the frame's gone. So it would cost a fortune to get that done. A lot of money, and then it would just look the way it did. But that was a very Britannic, that was a very British, very Britannic, very Protestant kind of thing. You know, the red and blue with the stars in the corners. Very, very Protestant, very Britannic, very imperial. And we've moved on from then. And this is the Priory on the island of Ireland. So maybe this is a good idea. What do you think of this for the top window? Have a look. I'll blank me out. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? It certainly is. It's certainly in keeping, in line with the Irish theme and the Celtic theme. But I don't know. What do you think about it? It used to be a red, white, and blue window. Very imperial, very 1860s Britain. You know, Queen Victoria, God bless her, and all that stuff. This is a complete departure for that. So I was trying to keep the house original, but it's not down to me. It's your house. So you tell me. So there you go. Mitch Cameron says, love it. Well, what can I say? As I say, it's not my window. You've got the final say in it. So, you know, if you think that's the way to go, I've got to agree with you. And I think I can live with it. I think it's nice. I think it definitely harks back to our ancient Celtic roots and all the rest of it. Yeah, it's very nice. I like it. I think it's very Irish, isn't it? We had the one with the plain cross we had for the window in our Budapest headquarters. We never have actually installed it ever. So that thing's good there, and I think that's wonderful. So if he's like that, there we go. Good. Let's see. So is Mr. Griffin in the room? Did I see somebody saying hello, Mr. Griffin? Where is he? I never seen him. Where's Mr. Griffin? There he is. Yes, very good indeed. Nice to see you, Mr. Griffin. So there we go. So the other thing, I'll just show you these, get them out of the way. The other thing we're looking at doing is putting down some flooring in the bedrooms. And I've managed to source reasonably cheap flooring. It's 12mm laminate, but good quality. And it's a kind of Versailles style. Have a look at this, see what you think of this. And there's another picture of it. Okay. So it's 12mm, half inch. And we're already putting, so the floorboards are down, but then we're putting tinfoil, then we're putting half-inch plywood down, and then half-inch of this flooring down. We more tinfoil under that. So the floors are a bit dodgy, so that's good because that'll be an inch on top of the old floors. That'll be an inch on top of the old floors, and the floorboards are an inch and a half. So with 2.5 inches on the floor, which I think will be very strong and give a bit of structure and level out any imperfections that could be in the floor, which will save us money. But that's the next thing. One thing at a time. I'll just show you that now. Mr. Michael Wells says, looking for a church with a Celtic cross recently. Very good. Plenty of them here. Westover says, wow, yes, beautiful, Brother Jim. Excellent. Well, we're not getting that flooring now. We'll have to raise some money nearer the time for it. But anyway, let's get into the elephant in the room. Somebody needs to take the telephone off Donald Trump, especially late at night or in the morning. He put out a tweet today, which has really upset people. Really upset people. No need for it. Because what's happening now, and I don't know why people just wander about with their head up their backside, not paying attention. In Europe, people are just wandering about as if everything's normal. Everything's not normal. I've been telling people for weeks this is going to get bad. Nobody listens. Now, in Northern Ireland, many of the garages have no fuel, no petrol or diesel, the forecourts and the big Tesco's and Asda and the big supermarkets. And if they don't have any, that's a real problem. But also things like canned fish and spam and corned beef, all that's all cleared out of shops. It could be panic, but there's good reason for it. Slovenia, which is one of the most advanced European countries, Slovenia, out of the old Baltics, but that's done the best out of a lot. It is now officially sanctioned and declared rationing, fuel rationing. And today, the last tanker is arriving today, and I think it's Felixstowe or wherever it goes here, with a big petrochemical refinery here. The last tanker of jet fuel arrives today, and there's no more coming out. And even if the Straits of Hormuz open now, if I said, Alakazam, and it opened up, we're still going to be 3 weeks before we get any more. But the backlog in that will cause a problem. So we're now going to have this problem for several months, at least. At least. At least. If prices are going through the roof all over Europe, it's a real big problem. It's a real massive problem. Now, you're feeling a wee bit in America. And again, America is self-sufficient in most things. So it won't be too bad in America. But in Europe, it's going to be really, really bad. But the response really is from Donald Trump, which is a bit rich considering he started the war. Well, you just want to go and start fighting and just go into the Straits of Hormuz and take the oil. Just learn to fight. Summon up the courage. Telling us to summon up the courage. Remember, we were in the First World War. America was in it for the last 3 months, and we've done 3 years alone in the Second World War against the Nazis and the whole world. So telling the Brits to summon up courage is not particularly helpful in this situation. But look at this tweet he put out. It's absolutely shocking. Never seen anything like it. It's burning a lot of bridges here. I'm telling you, burning a lot of bridges all over the world. It's not good. Can people hear me if that's up on the screen? Can you hear? Can you hear? Okay. So all those countries that can't get jet fuel because the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from us. We have plenty. Number two, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore. Just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. And whatever he says here, get whatever. Okay, so. Well, you decapitated Iran a month ago. They're not destroyed. They're firing 20, 30 missiles every single day. And if it's so easy to go into the Straits of Hormuz and just take the oil, why don't you do it, Mr. Trump? You're the most powerful army on the planet. The US forces are about 10 times the power of the combined European forces. If you join France, Germany, Britain, and all that together, America's still 10 times more powerful than us. So, if you can't do it with all the might of the United States, why do you think we could do it? Why do you think we could do it? And we don't need to be taught how to fight. As I say, we fought the Kaiser ourselves. We fought Hitler for most of the war ourselves. So these kind of tweets coming out are, I know he's trying to get to Keir Starmer, but this is an insult to every one of your servicemen. Remember, we lost more troops proportionately in Afghanistan than America. Proportionately. We lost 500-600. You lost a couple of thousand, 3,000 or 4,000. But proportionally, we actually had a higher death rate. So it's not really cool. You know, we lost 1 million in the first war and 500,000 in the second war. It's just not very nice. It's not very nice. And it's certainly not diplomatic language. It's certainly not the language you'd expect of somebody occupying the such a great position of dignity. Because remember, the president doesn't just represent himself for the White Office. He represents the American people. He represents the American people. So for the sake of their dignity, these kind of outbursts are not statesmanlike at all and not helpful at all. It's bad. It's a bad show. It's a poor show, a very poor show indeed, and diminishes the office of the President of the United States. It diminishes that sacred office, and you shouldn't do it. So somebody needs to take that phone off him. It's really crazy. I've never seen anybody in such a high position behave like that. Because remember, that's maybe the way me and you would talk, but we're not dignitaries. We're not leaders of countries. And that's for a good reason, because that's the way I would talk. But that is not the way people who run countries talk. It just isn't. And it's doing incalculable damage across the world to the reputation of America, this kind of behavior. It's outrageous. And again, you know, the Straits of Hormuz is still shut. Iran is still firing missiles. They've killed thousands of people, blown up half the country. Still active, still doing it. And now their mates, the Houthis, are talking about shutting down the Red Sea. What does that mean? Well, that means nothing's going up the Suez Canal. And if you remember 3 or 4 years ago, do you remember some drunken, I think he was a Greek or a Russian, some captain in one of them big container ships got drunk and crashed his boat. I know it sounds hard to believe, but did you remember it? He crashed his boat in the Suez Canal and blocked it. Remember, it was wedged in sideways. No, I remember that. We couldn't get anything into this place here for about 4 months. It was chaos. It was the same all over the world. In America was really struggling as well, because a lot of stuff now comes from China and it goes up through the Suez Canal. It was chaos. And now the Houthis have sank. The Houthis have no power. Again, America says us and Israel decapitated them months ago. Really? Well, there's 3 ships been sunk. There's 3 massive ships been sunk in the Red Sea. There's that Gulf thing you don't talk about been sunk in the last week. So they never done a very good job of decapitating them, because they're still sinking ships. And remember, you only need to put the wind up the insurance companies like Lloyd's of London. They just say, we ain't insuring you anymore. So you don't need to sink hundreds of ships. This is what a lot of people are not understanding, especially in Britain and America. You don't have to have a mighty navy to sink these ships. You just have to say, credibly, we're going to attack ships. Now, we know they're capable. We know they've done it before. They know it's not a bluff. And the insurance companies say, not insuring your ships, or we're insuring it for, you have to pay us 50 million. And then the shipping companies say, no, it's not economically viable. And they don't do it. And that's all you need to do to stop the world's trade. And that kills the petrodollar. If the petrodollar goes down, the whole world will get into an economic recess of the likes you've never seen. America will have a bit of pain, but America will survive it. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe the plan is, let's do a reset. It could be. It could. But the only thing that made any sense, other than that, you'd have to think a lot of leaders in the West have went completely stark, raving mad. But we'll see. But what I don't like to see, I've seen a lot of boys, American boys, all loading up in ships yesterday, and wives crying and children hugging their legs and all the rest of it as they all go off to another war at Israel's behest. Make no mistake about this. Let's not kid ourselves on here, folk. Let's be very grown up, man to man. This is nothing to do with America. This is nothing to do with Iran. This is all to do with Israel. This is all to do with Israel. All this nonsense, weapons of mass destruction. We heard this in Iran, Iraq. It wasn't true. It wasn't true. And then when Saudis took down the Twin Towers, we flattened Afghanistan. It's crazy. But here's the thing, my American friends. Now, hear me out on this. I'm not being derogative, but I have to point out the truth, because our timelines are filled with delusional people in America. They're saying, but we want to free the people. Free the people from what? The majority of people in Iran support the regime. Do you understand that? Yes, there was thousands in the street, but there's 93 million people live there. There wasn't 93 million people in the street. There wasn't 50 million people in the street. There wasn't 10 million people in the street. There wasn't 1 million people in the streets demanding the topple of the Ayatollah. Not 1 million. There was a few 100,000 across the country out of 92 million. So most people support the regime. So they don't need freed from it. They like it. Secondly, we want to bring democracy to them. Really? Right. We tried to do that with Vietnam. Americans tried to do that in Vietnam. How did that end? Dangling off the legs of helicopters off the American embassy. Do you remember that? And then it became communist. How did that work in Afghanistan when Saudi people took down the Twin Towers when we attacked Afghanistan? How did that end? Well, now the Taliban run Afghanistan with all the military equipment they're left behind. That didn't end well, did it? Look at Syria. When you get into that shit, Bashar al-Assad, what's happening this week in Syria? Christian villages are being leveled. People are being raped and slaughtered in their hundreds by who? The jihadi bosses who Israel and America put in power when they managed to oust Assad. So that's not worked very well. Look at Libya. We get rid of that bad man, so that Muammar Gaddafi. Now it's run by 3 ISIS groups, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and some other mad crowd. And that never went very well. And, remember the American embassy there, the boys were all killed there. Terrible carry on. That never ended well. Somalia, Black Hawk Down. And obviously Iraq, we get rid of Saddam, who had the weapons of mass destruction. No such thing. How did that end? Well, that gave birth to ISIS. That gave birth to ISIS. It destabilized the whole region. It made the world a far more dangerous place. Because the big argument I hear from people in America, members of the public in America, say, we need to get rid of that regime because look at all the terror. Look at all the bombs. Whoa, 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 whoa. What bombs in the West have been done by Iran or their proxies? Oh, it's their proxies, Jim. It's their proxies. Like who? Like who? Name them. Name them. The Bataclan massacre in Paris. No, that's Sunnis. That's Al-Qaeda, ISIS, that mob. They hate the Shias, and the Shias hate them. The Iranians hate them, and they hate them. They all hate each other's guts. The biggest sponsor of terror in the world right now, and has been for 20 years, is Pakistan. Remember, guess where Bin Laden was hiding, do you remember? In a military town in Pakistan. But they're our best friends now. Groveling in the White House the other day. Trump saying the guy was brilliant, he's a great guy. He's a military dictator who... Get ready, they've locked up Imran Khan, the rightful president of Pakistan, threw him in a dungeon. And now the military leadership, which is a junta, which is a dictatorship, which is a Islamic regime dictatorship, just like Iran, but different. They're Sunnis, Iran's Shias. They're welcomed in the White House. And Trump's patting them on the back saying, we love this guy. This is an Islamic fundamentalist jihadi dictatorship that run Pakistan. And they've got nuclear weapons. And they've financed nearly all the terror attacks in the West. So it was the Sunnis that took down the Twin Towers, the Wahhabis. The same people who done Bataclan, same people who bombed London, same people who bombed Manchester, the same people who have been doing all the bombing attacks in Germany and France. Iranians and the Shias done none of them. Zero. But there's such an ignorance in the West. You don't know the difference. It's like blaming me, a Protestant, for the atrocities that the IRA committed. It's craziness. It doesn't make sense. It's utterly stupid. Or like blaming Americans if Canada done something. It's a completely different thing. But anyway, the die is set now, and goodness knows what's going to happen. But for somebody who, remember we were told, we need to get in and destroy their nuclear stuff. Well, we've done that in July. And Trump threatened to sue anybody who said we hadn't done it. So we've decapitated this regime several times now and destroyed their nuclear stuff several times now. Are we going for another round? And we're in the worst position now we were in a month ago. But we were told this war would take a few weeks, maximum, maybe days. Originally, it was 5 days. Now we've been at it 4 weeks, and there's no end in sight. Most of the oil refineries in the Middle East lie decimated because this has all been hidden from us in Britain and you in America. Israel is getting absolutely hammered into the ground. Hammered, totally hammered. Most Arab countries are getting hammered. There's no food getting in. This is a catastrophe in a biblical scale, and only the start of it. And people are going, no, we'll be all right. We'll win this. Well, look, my American friends, you haven't won one single war yet you've embarked in. This is why I'm very annoyed at Trump having a go at us. We've won quite a lot of wars. In the last 20 years, America's won no war. I mean, invading Venezuela and kidnapping the president, that's not really a war, is it? Or Grenada or El Salvador, that's not really serious stuff. But any big stuff like Iraq, like Afghanistan, like Syria, like Libya, like that hideous place, Mogadishu, and Somalia, every single time America's had to leave, spent billions, killed thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, and had to flee, had to leave in a hurry. No victory. Military destroyed all these places because America's so powerful, but never really couldn't claim victory in any of these. So why do we think if we couldn't defeat Afghanistan, by the way, the British were involved in that and all, if we couldn't defeat the Taliban, a bunch of towel-wearing camel jockeys, if we couldn't defeat them, Afghanistan, right? It's a desert. If we couldn't beat them, if we couldn't beat a load of ragheads in Iraq, okay, and Britain was involved in that, so, you know, I'm taking some of the responsibility. We're just having to go to the Yanks. If we couldn't beat these two people, Iraq and Afghanistan, which are teeny, teachy people compared to Iran, completely different because they're Arabs. Iran's not Arabs. They're Aryans, you know, like us, Aryans, where Aryans come from. If we couldn't beat Iraq and we couldn't beat Afghanistan and we couldn't even beat Syria, we couldn't even beat Somalia, what makes us think we can beat Iran? This is a form of mental illness that I don't think I've seen for a very, very long time. And this ain't going to end well. So, and I do not want to see American soldiers being killed on that bloody island or on the mainland of Iran. I'll tell you what, Mr. Trump, send your son, send Barron. Yeah, let's send Barron. Kushner, you're a young man. You're a young, fit man, Kushner. You've just been given, wait for it, folks, the Saudis have gave Kushner $200 billion, that's $200,000 million as a investment fund that he can play with. $200 billion. So, Jared Kushner, you're a young, fit, healthy man. You've been putting your nose in. Get a uniform on, get out there. At least when Winston Churchill was a Lord Admiral, he made a massive mistake in the Dardanelles, the Battle of Gallipoli. It wasn't his fault, by the way. But he took personal responsibility, resigned his seat from Parliament, resigned his high office in government, and he was getting on a bit in his 30s, maybe 40s. He immediately enlisted in the Scots Guards and went to the front line in the battlefields of France in the First World War as a Scots Guards officer, up front and personal. That's what he'd done. So, there's a bit of courage for you. So, Mr. Trump, tell your son-in-law, who's made all these billions out of this misery, this miserable war, get his uniform on and get out with the boys. Show solidarity, show bravery with American troops. And as for yourself, Mr. Trump, also, grab your son, Barron. Let's get Barron in a uniform. He's a big strapping lad. Let's get Barron in a uniform. If you're that confident that you're going to send our people's sons to that war, send your own. Send your own. Fed up with these people sending our kids to go and die in other people's wars, mainly Israel's. It's not good enough. Where is Bibi, Netanyahu's son? Do you know where Netanyahu's son is? Right now, as I'm sitting, Jim Dawson, I'm sitting here in Northern Ireland. Do you know where Bibi Netanyahu's son is? Florida. Living it up large, fancy cars, but gorgeous bimbos all around them. Living it large in Miami. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I'm absolutely furious about this because this ain't going to go well. Only the most stupid moron on the planet would think this would go okay. It didn't go okay in Iraq. It didn't go okay in Afghanistan. That was nothing. They were nothing. They were minnows. They were tadpoles compared to this lot, this Iranian lot, which I can't stand, by the way. But I know when you have to be careful. And this is a time we have to be careful. No gung-ho John Wayne. This isn't the movies. This is real. So anyway, enough ranting about that. So there you go. Who's those people are saying? Kenwood, good day. How you doing? Sorry I'm late. No problem, Ewan. Most Americans tell the difference between Sunni and Shia. They don't know. They don't. Well, most British people can't tell the difference either, to be fair. Peter Holden, good afternoon. How you doing? Paul Telford. Turkmenistan is next to Iraq, worth looking into. Aye, absolutely, because the USA thought they were inferior to them. Lesson learned, hard won. Absolutely. Michael Wells, they're trying to say Barron is too tall now to join. Really? The military's 6'9". You're an athlete, volunteered for Vietnam at 7 foot. I know he's too tall. Don't talk ridiculous. Barron's too tall to go to war. Nah. Anyway, the Samson operation out of Vietnam, another one. Exactly. Christopher Strid. Yep. It's BB. Yep. BB Son's doing all right. It's the same with a lot of these guys in the Ukraine. Most of them are living in Saint-Tropez in Monte Carlo and directing the Ukraine warfare over there. Well, young Ukrainians, and by the way, I've got a lot of respect for the normal Ukrainian citizens and the Russians. These boys are getting mangled in a meat grinder there. The world's went bonkers. Is it me as the world went stark, raving mad? We need to stop it. But we're going to end up with body bags getting filled like we've never seen for a long, long time, and I don't like that. And I don't like that because American boys the same as my boys, you know, and I just don't like it. So I'm not speaking out against Americans. I'm speaking out against this idiotic, money-grabbing administration that's dancing like silly fools to the Pan Piper, Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli money. It needs to stop. It's corruption. America first, okay? America first, Britain first. End of story. Let Israel fight their own wars. Right, talking about people, the title of the show was We're Not the Same. And do you know why I'm saying we're not the same? Now, here's Dowson getting into now. People say this is a racist rant. I don't care what you say. We are not the same. Have a look at this and you tell me if we're the same. Right, I'm not sure. Let me just clarify. This is a climate change conference or something, all the great and the good and all the big millionaires and that. Just check this out again. This is acceptable behaviour for some people. What? Look at this big spit running out. Have a look. I showed Marion that yesterday. She says, that's that alien. Remember the film Alien? It looks like him. But that needs to be put down before it breeds. That's crazy. Who wants that thing running about? So Sammy does an impersonation of Trump sometimes. He does that. That's crazy. By the way, I like Trump as a human being. He's quite funny and all that, but I think he's went totally off the deep end with this. But been led by the nose by you know who. The blue people. The blue people won't be sending their sons to Iran. I can tell you that for nothing. Yep. It's crazy. Screaming. It's crazy, isn't it? John Kopasaki said. Very good, John. That's proper husband material. You never noticed all these daft white women that marry or hang about with these gangster rappers. Then they get beat up and I go, oh, he beat me up. He's a gangster rapper. What do you think he's going to do, you stupid woman? Anyway, it's crazy. Right, wearing a black leotard. Richard Clements. Kill it with fire before it lays eggs. Anthrax, something. When you get some of that weapons of mass destruction for real and get it on that boy before he breeds, by goodness, never seen the like it in all my born days. It's quite frightening anyway. Anyway, talking about the blue people. Now, this is controversial with the Catholics, but just hear me out. They blew up this ancient mausoleum of Simon Peter, which is St. Peter, which Catholics believe he's buried in Rome. Most of Christendom believes that. But in the Middle East, they don't. They say he was buried in this mausoleum, which the IDF have now destroyed. Have a look. And you know, this is the level of craziness. I put this up on our timeline, and the amount of people who said, it's probably Hezbollah that done it. It's crazy. Madness, total madness. But that was, according to the Christians in Syria and Lebanon and the Levant, the Middle East, they say that was the mausoleum of St. Peter. I know the Western tradition says St. Peter, Rome, and things like that. But there you go. I'm just telling you that. So there we go. I don't have a dog in the fight because we don't really care where people are buried. It makes no difference to us. But yeah, that's it. But I mean, let's just say that is true. Blowing up that, I mean, they blew up the third oldest church in the world, an Orthodox church in Gaza, at the beginning of the Gaza attack. The third oldest church in the world. It's quite incredible, isn't it? If the IDF are the way, the whole Middle East will be rubble. Well, they're going to get their way. They're going to create Greater Israel. They're going to clear out. They're going to clear out Lebanon, which is the third Christian, by the way. They're going to clear out Syria. They're going to clear out several countries. And if you think the refugee crisis is bad now, wait till you see when 30 million Middle Eastern Muslims and Christians all start flooding into the West. Because where else are they going to go? Yeah, serious stuff, folks. Serious, really serious stuff. But it's happened before our very eyes. There you go. Let's get to something a wee bit more wholesome now. This is Catholic Spain, and I wish I was in Spain this week because I love Holy Week. Yes, I'm an old prod, but I love Catholic Spain at Holy Week. You were there, Mary. Remember they put Marian's ears out because the Spanish are a bit mad. They all do the procession through the town, do you remember? And then they have a big, beautiful bonfire, and they have the big Virgin on top, and all. They take it off for the set fire, obviously, and they're all doing this. But then they have these mad firework displays, and we were on the way. We didn't know. We were like, oh my goodness, these were like bombs going off, and it put Marian's ears out. She's still deaf as a post, isn't she? Yes. She's got hearing aids, and it put her ears out, blew her ears out. Frightening. Anyway, have a look at this. This is wonderful. Was that no wonderful? Just I'm going to have another look. Brilliant, eh? Now, you know, I had a guy on the other day, some Presbyterian guy from Canada. He's an Ulster man, but he lives in Canada. Oh, and he was giving me, put that in charge for us, eh? He was giving me gyps saying, how dare you put Romanist stuff up? I'm surprised at you. Listen, if you're watching this, you pompous windbag. Mind your business. You're a minister of a Presbyterian church in Canada. We can't all run away and hide in Saskatchewan or wherever you're hiding away from reality, my friend. So mind your business. Wind your neck in. Just because I'm showing people that and I like that doesn't mean I'm going to go and do it. I'm not a Catholic. I'm not a Roman Catholic, remember. I'm not going to do it. But it's a marvellous festival and a spectacle to behold. And what possible insult or attack on your Protestant religion could those people in Spain be to you in the outer reaches of Canada? If you're that insecure about your Protestant faith, I would say there's deeper problems, my friend. I'm very secure, so I don't mind. I even attend some of these things. In fact, I used to live in Spain in a wee village, tiny village, 150 people, and every year they used to do a procession at night on the Sunday night in Holy Week, and they all had candles and walked around. Now, they knew I was a Protestant, so they never asked me. But I came out and they said, oh, hold on a minute. I'm living in this village. I'm going to participate in your festival. Absolutely. And I walked around with a candle. And the bishop never came and seen me. I had a cup of nice coffee with the bishop. 100%. Why do people feel so threatened by other people's culture or customs, religious customs? Get a grip of yourself. So if that guy is watching from Canada, I'm not impressed with you. You've got a church to run. You've got people to minister to. You've got ministerial duties to perform. So get off the social media and stop talking old Tommy Rot nonsense and get on with your own job, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. As Donald Trump says, I thank you for your attention to this matter. There you go. There you go. No more stuff like this. Absolutely. It's majestic. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Nothing wrong with it. John Ventry's here. John, how's your political thing you're on? You were doing something political last time we spoke to you, weren't you? I think you were. Anyway, moving on. What did I see there? Yeah. Well, I'm always showing you these bands in Northern Ireland, and a lot of English folks say, "Oh, I wish we'd that in England." You do have them in England. You have tens of thousands of these militiamen, orange men, whatever you want to call them, in England and Scotland. There's about 30,000 in Scotland, about 10,000 in England. Yes. And, there's a place called Scarborough in England. It's on the north-east coast of England, made famous by Simon and Garfunkel. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Do you remember that? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. That's it, Marion. You remember, because you're a lot older than me. I don't remember it. My father told me about that song, but Marion remembers it. Anyway, this is Scarborough on Saturday, just past there. Where is it? Lost the thing. There it is here. This is Scarborough in England, just a few days ago. Wonderful. Have a look. Oh, maybe it's finished. Well, there you go. That was Scarborough. Terribly windy day, as you can see. It's on the coast. It used to be it's a faded seaside town. It's a bit like the boardwalk, in America there. Where was the name of that? Atlantic City or something. It's like that before it get done up. It's a bit of a dump. But anyway, sorry about anybody in Scarborough listening. It needs a bit of money spent in it. Anyway, John Ventureson, he's standing for the, what is it? Where is he here? Governor of Pennsylvania, yeah. Oh, very good. Lieutenant Governor. Oh, well done. Excellent. Well, who are you on there? You're not getting allowed on Facebook. Well, Facebook have got a policy here in Britain and Ireland that political stuff, elections, not they don't allow it on during election time. They won't allow it on. Been told me 7 times that my message and website violates self. Aye, I know. It's crazy. Waste of time. The first group of young men were very impressive. Step, swinging arms, synchronized. Yeah, the first group, I may add, were Scottish. There was a Scottish band down in England, giving the English a hand out. Yes, they were Scottish. We do march well. My banner reads never social. Aye, this is the problem. John, this is the problem. We're up against it all the time. We're always getting banned. I mean, we had a Facebook page for the Templar Church Facebook page. They got 20,000 in a month. Bang, deleted the page. They just deleted the page on us. Yeah. There's never any reason. This is some weird, bizarre thing they keep doing, but they don't want us on. Not as bad as it used to be. But it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim. That's what they do. Now, there's a lot of stuff been coming on. I want to show you something else from Spain here. I want to show you this from Spain as well. This is the Spanish Legion. who are tough boys. Imagine if our military were doing this. Have a wee look. Have a look at this. There you go. Muscular, manly Christianity. Now, as an old reformed person, it's not my cup of tea, and a lot of people in my position would have to fit. But look, from a theological point of view, no, I don't like that stuff. But from a nationalist point of view, from a Christian nationalist point of view, brilliant. Absolutely spot on. Well done, the Catholics. Well done, the Spanish. We should see more of that. Imagine if we were doing that in our towns in England and Scotland and Ireland and Wales, marching right into the heart of the Muslim-infested areas and lifting Jesus Christ up high. Can you imagine it? We'd be very lucky to get enough men with courage to actually do it. So I suppose Trump's right there. British men do need to find their courage. That's about nowadays, that's for sure. So, brilliant, excellent, absolutely excellent. Brilliant stuff. So if you ever get a chance to go to Spain in Holy Week, go, because it's spectacular beyond belief. It's fantastic. You've never seen anything like it. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things here from this part of the world because I think it's important. Because, we work hand in glove with big Niall McConnell. And he gets it really rough at times. I mean, really rough. Don't want to say too much on here. But he lives right in the middle of a nest of communists, IRA communists, right on the border. Very dodgy area. I wouldn't live there. Well, I wouldn't live long anyway, I can tell you that. But he gets it tight. But he's a good guy. And I came across one of his old videos, a compilation video, and it reminded me how far he's came. I mean, Niall's been going now, I think, 6 years. And he was reviled and hated by all the right wing when he started. And I said, just keep a steady course, son. We helped him out a lot. We still do. So keep a steady course. You'll see them all off. You'll see them all off. Because Niall's a doer. The people say he's not very intellectual. Well, let me tell you, he's far from stupid. But people say the same thing about me. I'm not an intellectual. Niall's like me in this respect. He gets things done. He's like me. We take a hammer to knock a wall down, then we say, is that the right way to do it? We just get it done first, then work out, oh, that maybe wasn't the best way to do it, but it's done. So that's why I like Niall. So have a wee look at this big Niall compilation for Niall.
Fellow patriots, blood of my blood, sons and daughters of Erin, welcome.
And the sure hooked in Towery, the Granium Wellick Tactor Shally, Ogley Artel Og the Garda, Gaelic Venus, the Frank the Spotty, a Scorchid Rigna Gala.
Didn't die for abortion. Bobby Sands didn't die for mass immigration. You told candidates in 2012 or the general public that you were pro-life. How can people believe you? Now you're pro-abortion. How can anyone trust you?
I have my views in this here. I am pro-life. I believe.
Well, how come you voted for abortion?
Because because people are travelling, and we've had this debate. We've had a referendum. People are travelling in relation to terminations. They're not getting the aftercare that they needed. We believe that it was right to have a referendum on those limited circumstances, and the people cast their vote, and that is now law.
But do you think the 1916 heroes would have died? Did they die for abortion? Did they die for that?
They died to free their country. They died for
But Sinn Féin support the butchering of our unborn Irish
we
babies. 13,000 children murdered every year.
Nonsense. I don't know what you've got against Sinn Féin, but carry on anyway. Good luck to
the
you.
Irish
Good luck to you.
Republicans.
No, you've made that point a number of times now.
Alright folks, how are we all getting on? We just finished up bagging the food there. As you can see, we've got in this bag a turnip, some carrots, some lentils and some rice. And we've got 5 kilo bags of potatoes as well. So this van here is going to Strabane, and as you see here on your right, this here is going to Maharaj. The onions at the back too. So this is the first dispatch of the food aid, helping our Irish men and women, our Irish brethren. So I just want to thank everybody again for helping me, for the volunteers who put their health at risk to do all this, and for everybody who donated financially.
That was Sammy in the back of that van. It was quite interesting because that was during COVID lockdown. You weren't allowed out. And the police turned up as a car park. That other car's mine. And all that food was packed, by the way, by me, the wife, and all my kids. We went away up to Niall's farm in the middle of nowhere and howling gales in the middle of this field of a barn with no doors. Just a big open barn for the sheep to get in it. Oh, man, it was cold. It was January. It was hideous in the Donegal bogs. And we packed up about 5 ton of food. Oh, man, it was terrible. But then that's wee Sammy in the back. And the police turned up and said, you're not allowed to do it unless your family. I says, yes, this is my son. I'm standing with Niall. I'm up to it there in him. And I look like a Brit. He looks like a mad Irishman. I says, yes, this is my son. The guy just looked at us and went, really? I said, yeah. I'm more looking at the wife going, really? So that was it. We got the stuff in. But I made wee ID cards that looked like government official cards. Oh dear. Big confession online. I don't care. We made these cards that looked like government cards. They weren't pretending to be government cards, but they just looked like them. And every time we get stopped at a roadblock, we just had the lanyard on. On you go, on you go. So we managed to deliver that food. I delivered that food to County Cavan, County Leitrim. Big Niles doing Donegal. And up that neck of the woods. Brilliant. Andy Lightman's here. How you doing? Nice to see you, Andy. So good practical stuff. We were doing that every weekend for months. It was a lot of work, a lot of work, but it was well worth it. And it was needing done. But, you know, Niall's a good guy. And, you know, the Irish are not very good at the flags and the discipline. That you've seen some of their marks, it's no good. But we put a lot of time in and showed Niall how to do it properly and get the proper flags and poles and straps and all that stuff. And he'd done himself proud. And people really like that. So it's good. And it's nice to see, isn't it? Nice to see people doing the right thing. Brilliant. Anyway, here's another wee clip from Ireland that I think is very important because the name of the show today was We're Not the Same. Okay? So I just want to remind you, this is what we're told is our ubiquitous culture now. And if you look at the music industry and the TV and all the rest of it, this is the predominant culture that's creeping in, being pushed on. It's not creeping in, being pushed upon us against their will. This nonsense. Oh, I don't know, tell me, I may have lived too long. Anyway, he was doing some kind of ethnic, tribal kind of movement dance. I'm sure he went buck mad after it and was leaping about the place like a fruit bat. But anyway, this is what we do in this part of the world and in America as well. We, I'll say it slowly, are not the same. We're not. And we never will be. Never. I don't know. Is it so difficult to understand? Oh, no, wait a minute. Ken's asked me here. I see Ken. Question, what day will you get picked up at the airport? At the airport, I'll tell you now if I can find my diary. Oh, here it is. Wait a minute. See how proficient I am. We are. Wait a minute. You picked up on Wednesday, June the 3rd. So you should fly into Dublin June the 3rd, or fly in the day before if you want. But what I would suggest to people, because those airport hotels are monstrously expensive, if you fly in early, just jump on the shuttle bus. There's 3 an hour every 20 minutes and take you up to Belfast and book in somewhere in Belfast. The mad, like $300, $400 for a night at the airport hotel. No. Jump on a bus, it costs you like $10 and it's only 2 hours, 2 hours. Just get up to Belfast and stay there for $100 a night. Okay? My advice. So Wednesday the 3rd, you get picked up. Okay? And then everybody gets taken back down. The Sunday night, we stay near the airport and you get dropped off at the airport on the Monday morning, Monday the 8th. Okay? Monday the 8th. All right, Ken, good man yourself. And I want to thank Ken for his recent activities. Thank you, Ken. Much appreciated. You've been a good man yourself. Okay, well, that was that. Crazy stuff there. Quite frightening, quite disturbing. Just before we finish up, I want to show you some of these AI things and different things people are making because I think they're really good. I don't know what you think, but tell me what you think of this because I think this kind of stuff is excellent. Have a wee look at this. This was somebody labelled it Templar chant that the Muslims feared in the battlefield. I don't know if that's true or not. Have a wee look.
Sub silentio nocte mortis peccata nostra clamat, sanguis in terra cadit, vox mortuorum manet, in fide et in dolore anima nostra arde. Odi nos Domine, ex abyssis vocamus. Miserere nobis Domine, in umbra crucis manemus, per ignem et sanguinem redime animas nostras. Miserere nobis Domine, redere linquas nos, in nocte eterno lux tu abscondita milites obscuris sumus, sub voto et silentio, per mortem et sacrificium servimus imperio. Campane longe sonant, sed speciam deficit, in corde solum timor, et voxque non tacet, ex tenebris surgimus ad judicium tuum. Miserere nobis Domine, in umbra crucis manemus, per ignem et sanguinem redime animas nostras. Requiem, requiem, aeternam dona nobis. Requiem, requiem, et lux numquam veni. Miserere nobis Domine, clamamus sine voce, per crucem tuam obscuram, salva nos a morte. Miserere nobis Domine, infina in temporum, cum umbre regnam, et silentio manet. Amen. Amen. In tenebris.
I think that stuff's getting really good. That's maybe a bit long, that one, but I thought it was really good nonetheless. Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. Let me see what we've got here. Mitch says excellent promotion. Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? It's very good. I don't even think we done that. I don't know who done that. But they're all getting very good. Anyway, I better go off, let you good folk on with you the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me here in the Tell Report. Yes, it was due for a wee rant because I'm very, very worried about the state of the world. I'm very, very worried about the safety of American boys and girls who are heading out to that godforsaken, and I mean that godforsaken part of the world. Let me tell you something. There is not the oil in the world, not all the billions and billions and billions of gallons of oil that are under the Arabian desert worth one single American life. Not a million gallons of oil is worth 1/4 of American blood, or British blood for that matter. That's my position. So don't think I'm disloyal. I just don't like to see our boys being used by the great game, the politicians, the money people, and everybody who's got interest in this. Everybody will walk away with millions and billions in the bank, like Mr. Kushner, who's now got 200 billion. Just let that sink in. He ain't going to risk his life. He ain't going to lose his son. He's not going to have his son come back a gibbering wreck, mentally disturbed or scarred or maimed, or maybe no come back at all. That's going to happen to him. That happens to our people. That happens to our working class Joes. Our boys have to live through hell and then come back and try and get on with the rest of their life. Do you know there was more men that come back from Vietnam? The death toll in Vietnam was 56,000 killed in action, KIA. Do you know how many people committed suicide? Ex-soldiers, ex-troops who committed suicide? More than that. 60 or 70,000 took their own lives because they were so affected by the whole experience of Vietnam. That's the real cost of war, my friend. And Iran, or Persia, whatever you want to call it, or Syria, or Iraq, or Afghanistan, ain't worth it. Not worth it. Israel wants to go and fight with people. Knock yourselves out, Bibi, knock yourselves out. But get your son back from that fancy hotel he's in Miami. Get him back from Miami and get him in uniform with the IDF and send him into Carg Island. Let him do some fighting, okay? Well, that's enough for me. I'm going to leave you with a lovely piece of music. It's written by an Englishman who was converted to the true faith on a boat in Loch Swilly in County Donegal, and he was a slave trader, and he was a vicious, evil man and a godforsaken wretch, and he cursed God every day, and people, it was that bad, people weren't even sailing a boat with him. But anyway, he got converted, and he jumped off his boat when he got into the harbour, and he ran up the stairs to Londonderry Cathedral, St. Colum's Cathedral, and he ran right in the door and threw himself at the front of the altar, and he gave himself to Christ, and he went on to be a great minister. And I've actually been in the church where he served in London and where he was buried and all the rest of it. John Newton, his name is. And this is one of the best hymns ever written. Amazing Grace, sung a cappella, and this is a great version. So contemplate on this and think about it. And remember, this is Holy Week. So as we head towards the crucifixion, death, burial and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ, dwell upon this, my friends, okay? May God bless you all. I'll be back with you again on Thursday if the good Lord preserves me, and pray for the Lord would give me strength tomorrow to unload this lorry for stuff for the Priory House, okay? God bless each and every one of you, and remember, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Just vote.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that